Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganashatasham Tadvamasyadi Daksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Dham Namami. Nithyanandam. Hi, this is Nithyananda. Thanks for joining again today. Today I wanted to go back in time to one of the amazing practices or understandings or spiritual truths is the best word to describe Swamiji's unclutching. Unclutching, the word he introduced to us, I believe that was back in 2011, 2012, the word unclutching. It was so much of a part of our life and spiritual process, it was amazing. And I noticed all the different things he's giving us, ultimately to be in that space of oneness. Because when we're in that space of oneness, the divine can enter and flood us, and we can manifest the powers of Sadashiva. We can do many different things, create our own realities. But in order to do that, we need to be open to it. And one of the things we can do is unclutching. So we learned a lot about this and practice it a lot. And even now, one thing we would say is unclutch. What does that mean? See, there's a few words to try to describe what it is. The powerful process to upgrade our consciousness is unclutching. So if we look at these words, clutching, disclutching, unclutching. Clutching, disclutching, and unclutching. Clutching means holding, getting attached. Disclutching means completely getting disconnected and breaking. Unclutching means moving back to clutch anytime when it is needed. So if we understand when you shift your gears, let's say, if you have an manual vehicle and you're shifting your gears, it has a clutch, right? So you have to press the clutch in order to shift the gear. But there's that space in the middle where you have to get into the neutral. So when you shift your gears, you need to unclutch. Disclutching doesn't work. Disclutching means it can even be breaking. Even the gearbox breaks. So if the gear breaks, then the disclutching can't happen. But after disclutching, the possibility for clutching again may not exist. Here with unclutching, you move out, but unite again whenever required. So, consciously, continuously, if you're clutched to your body and to your mind and to your emotions with so many things, your identities, you hold on to these things and you clutch the identity about everything you have, even your Facebook profile. So many thousands of things. So these ideas that your mind creates, the ideas of joy and pain and pleasure, then what happens when those things are questioned? When those things are questioned, it puts us into a state of insecurity. What happens if you get locked out or somebody hacks in your Facebook page? We think that is us, that's our identity. Oh my God, what are we going to do? I've even known people who've had a situation called identity theft, where somehow somebody got a hold of their driver's license or this, that, and they went maybe to a store or something, impersonating them or, whatever. Of course, it could be a very serious thing, and it is a serious crime, but that insecurity that somebody's going around with your information, I understand how that could be, but now in a way, it's in a way funny. Because those ID cards and that identity that we hold, that Facebook page, that name even, it's not really who we are at all. But we hold on to it so much tightly and we get so insecure if something happens to that or shakes that. So the idea of unclutching is to just step back from that. Step back from that attachment, that emotion that's associated with it. The idea that our mind creates, that if this happens, I'm going to be upset or in pain or suffering. Or if this happens, this is going to be joyful. So if we can unclutch from those pre-fabricated ideas that our mind creates and identities that our mind creates, if we can unclutch from those things and just relax, it does us a lot of good. Especially, anger is a big one, right? Having a temper. For me, that's always been sort of a thing, having a little bit of a temper, I don't know if it's the red hair or the genes or what it is, but, I used to have that thing. Now I'm a lot more relaxed because of Unclutching and many other things and years of Swamiji training me. But that anger, or what, as it comes, you feel, right? You feel your whole body shaking and boiling, right? But if you can just consciously start to practice and understand, oh, this is happening now. But I don't have to be defined by this anger or this emotion. Because what is it really? It's not me. Because I know in other moments and where I feel great love in my heart or a great mood or joy. So this anger is not me. Let me just let it go. But see, often we want to hold on to that anger and justify our anger. Hey, you did this and that, and I'm mad and mad. You want somebody to hold your hand and say, oh, your anger is justified, and perpetuate that thing. But it actually is only putting power over you. You're letting that anger and that emotion give power. And when somebody else empowers you to hold on to that anger and fuels your fire and tells you it's okay and you're justified, then you're just going more and more into that. And I'm only using anger as one example. It happens with many things in our life. But if we can just take a step back and consciously realize what is happening, the more and more we practice that, the more we can catch ourselves and be quicker at it. And we can let it go. And connect to our breathing is a very big help. Because when we're connecting to that breathing with awareness and consciousness without so many thoughts running around, we're actually intaking not just air, but prana, which is that life energy that we're getting from the air. And you notice how much more your breathing becomes effective, energetic. So Unclutching has many different values, and it's an amazing thing that Swamiji has given us. An amazing technique to upgrade our consciousness. See, there's many different punches. Swamiji was saying how it's called a Mahavakya, a spiritual truth. There's many in the Vedic tradition, like Aham Brasmi, Tattvamasi, all different ones. And, Shivoham. But this Unclutching is like the ultimate process in spiritual truth. So I'm going to share this one webinar. It's a very classic webinar from 2012. That was the year 2012 that Swamiji was really speaking about Unclutching. And it was a great process that year. He's always bringing new things each year, I can remember, or each 6 months. Now it's even shorter, but he's bringing new interesting ways just to sometimes entertain us, to make us move. Because if we were still doing Unclutching, let's say today, for so many years, nobody would be wanting to do it, because our mind is always needing to jump around to different things. So what does he do? He has to continuously upgrade what he's doing, and he does a great job at it. Just when I think something couldn't be better, or a technique couldn't be better, or an understanding couldn't be better, like he's just hit this ultimate thing, he continuously comes up with something better. And that's one of the many things I love about Swamiji. So he's always for us, always trying to keep us moving forward, and always keeping our life, fulfilled and ever-changing. So I'll share this webinar with you so you can enjoy it. But it's from 2012, and it was very nice. A very nice session that he gave. Very vintage. I like to call it vintage, because now it seems so vintage. Now we have all this high-definition things, and Swamiji is very clear. But back then, it wasn't as clear. And but he just loved recording all the satsangs, being live and connecting with people. So from like 2010, he started doing these live discourses, live satsangs, just to connect with the world and to teach these great truths by our wonderful Vedic tradition. So one of these beautiful techniques of Unclutching I'll share with you. So go ahead and listen to what he has to say and try this in your life. You'll see how much it'll make a difference, even in your relationships, how you feel during the day, that stress that you might have, I know life could be very stressful, going to work, getting ready for work, going to work, catching the train or commuting, all the people, the crowds, the traffic, and then you get to work, and then you spill the coffee on yourself, and you're hungry, and then you got to find something to eat, and you're rushing around, and then you finally sit at the desk, and there's just a pile of work that you feel is there, and then your boss is ragging on you about something. It's a stress, right? But if we can change the way we cognize life, and we can practice, say, unclutching, we can start to relax and understand, okay, these things are happening, but it's not the end of the world, and it's not me. It's just there. Let's just drop it and unclutch from it and move on in our day. You can see how much more productivity you'll have and how much more confident you'll be, and the stress, how much that'll reduce. You'll see. It may take you a few weeks to start to get used to it, but just start having mature conversations with yourself, heart to hearts. Instead of running away from your emotions, just see that they're there and accept, okay, it's there. But what can I do about it so it's not making me powerless? You can unclutch. So whatever you do, whatever suffering you have or situation that you don't like or emotion that's overtaking you, just remember the word unclutch. So thanks for joining today. I hope you enjoyed this session. Nithyananda.